Galarian Articuno puts in the absolute work in today's battle. I cannot wait for you guys to see this. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're having a battle versus Raymond in the OU tier from the Discord server. Go ahead and join the Discord server. It's the best place to go for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles. There is a link in the description down below. I've also noticed that only 36% of people watching this video are actually subscribed to the channel, so just double check you subscribe because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people for some reason. It's really bizarre. And if you're not subscribed in the first place, why not subscribe? It's free, it helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, with that being said, let's jump into the team preview. Alright, Raymond's brought some power. They've got a Tinglu, a Volcanion, Great Tusk, a Azumarill, Magnezone, and a Rillaboom. Pretty awesome looking team, to be fair. My team's obviously not the best team in the world, but you know, it is what it is. I think Articuno could potentially do something here with the Great Tusk and the Rillaboom, potentially. We just got to get the Tinglu out of the way. We've got to get the Magnezone out of the way. The Magnezone, we can Tera ground, play around with that if we need to. But I don't think we'll be doing much damage to it. So I think Heatran's going to be important here for taking care of the Magnezone, for taking care of the... well, the Magnezone, yeah, pretty much. Unveiling looks like it's going to be a contender for MVP, though, to be fair. I'd rather that didn't happen, but, you know, it is what it is. So, anyway, let's lead off with our let's lead off with our Heatran. I feel like they're going to lead off with, like, Tinglu, but I feel like this is still the best lead. So I'm going to go ahead and go with it. And the battle begins. So Raymond's going to lead off with whatever that is, which is the Volcanion, as we lead off with our Firefrog, the Heatran. So it's not the worst matchup in the world. It's not the best matchup in the world either. We do have the Earth Power. We can sting it a little bit, but I'd rather not get hit by a Steam Eruption, so I'm going to go ahead and switch straight out. This is the problem that we're having, though. We haven't got much of a switch into hit Volcanion, which is why it's such a good lead. I should have anticipated that, but I didn't. So what we could do is we could Tera out of the bat, Tera Water. Be resistant to the Steam Eruption and immune to his fire type moves. Could also go for an Earth Power. Earth Power will hurt me a lot. I think I'm going to Tera straight away and Earth Power this thing, or sell the Stealth Rocks. No, Stealth Rocks aren't doing much for us this game. I think Earth Power for the immediate damage would be better, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'm going to Tera right off the bat. Get Heatran into a Tera Water. Going to make it a bit better at standing up to the likes of the Azumarill. And also standing up to the likes of the Great Tusk and the Tinglu. I think Tera Water on Heatran's probably the best bet. So it might be a bit premature, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So they go for an Earth Power, which we're going to eat up because we're specially defensive AF. And then we're going to go for our own Earth Power, and that's going to do a solid half to the Volcanion. So that's pretty awesome. We got some damage off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and expect them to switch out. So I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks real quick. I think that's probably the best bet to go for. So they do withdraw the Volcanion as expected. I could have gone for a Will-O-Wisp, actually, because they've got a lot of physical attackers. But they're going to go into Manny, which is, of course, going to be the Great Tusk. Anticipating the switch into the Stealth Rocks more than likely. So Great Tusk does do wonders against us. If we can burn this thing now, will actually be golden. If we can burn the Great Tusk, that'd be amazing. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go straight for that Will-O-Wisp. I'm sure Heatran can eat up a hit from this thing. No problem. They go for a knockoff. That's going to sting a little bit, but it's fine. As we're able to go for a Will-O-Wisp. We connect the Will-O-Wisp, which is great. Burning the Great Tusk is going to be really good for us. Great Tusk is obviously a big threat. Getting the burn on it is definitely important, so that's awesome. So there we go. A burn Great Tusk is... great for us. Absolutely great for us. So, we don't have a Ghost type, so we can't block the Rapid Spin, unfortunately. But what we can do instead is go for a Magma Storm, get some damage off immediately. They do go for the Rapid Spin as expected. It's not going to do much damage to us. It's going to raise their speed, unfortunately, but that's absolutely fine. Gets rid of the Stealth Rocks as well. We go for the Magma Storm. We hit the Magma Storm. Let's see how much damage this does. Not a lot of damage. Interesting. That's not a lot of damage at all. So, we've got Burn. And we've got some chip damage every turn from the Magma Storm. So I'm wondering if this is an Assault Vest Great Tusk. Which is an interesting set. But I'm going to go ahead and take this thing out with a Magma Storm right now. They go for a close combat, lowering their defenses, which is great for us. Because that means Magma Storm's going to do that much more damage. And it also means if we get the Stealth Rocks up again, it's going to be permanent. So there's the Magma Storm coming through. Nearly takes out the Great Tusk, which is great. In fact, it's to the point where the Magma Storm will actually take it out right now. There we go, see? So Great Tusk was taken out by a Heatran. Not something you usually see. But it is what it is. So Heatran's putting in the work right now. Tera Water Heatran is actually putting in some crazy work right now. So in comes Duracell, which is going to be the Magma Zone. So luckily, us not being a steel type anymore means we're no longer locked into this thing. So I'm going to go straight into Toedscruel. There's really no reason for me to not switch into Toedscruel. They could Tera Ice immediately and predict the switch. If they do that, then that's fair enough. But I don't think they will. I've got a feeling they won't. They are going to do it. They're going to do it. They baited the Toedscruel in. They baited it in. So in comes the Magma Zone. Nice and powerful Tera flying. At least it's not 4 times super effective. At least it's not 4 times super effective. That's the one plus to that. So they go for a Tera Blast, which is obviously going to be a flying type move. It is special. We are specially defensive. I'm sure we can eat it. We can eat it up, which is nice. We don't outspeed, I don't believe, because we're fully specially defensive. But we might be able to live one. We might be able to live one. So the Volcanion's half dead. The Great Tusk is gone. I can mark that off the list. I could go for a Spore here, but then we'd end up being slower. So what I'm going to do instead is, now that we know it's going for a Tera Blast, and now that we know it's probably locked into Tera Blast, we could go into... Well, we haven't got a switch in, really. We might have to lose Toedscruel. If we go for a knockoff, if we can outspeed it, we'll go for a knockoff. That'd be bad. But we don't outspeed it, unfortunately, as it's going to be able to go for a Tera Blast to take us out. I didn't really see a switch, because we could go Corviknight, but then if we go into Corviknight, then we're trapped by the Magnet Pull, and it can just go for a Thunderbolt. And Corviknight's not as fast as Magma Zone, evidently by the fact that Toedscruel isn't faster. So we were kind of boned there either way. So that's the thing. What I'm going to do now is, I want to get the Stealth Rocks up to hit that Volcanion, and also to hit this Magma Zone now. It's a flying type. So I'm kind of debating going into that. I'm also debating whether or not to go into our Myra B, the Quaquaval. But at the same time, I'm also thinking Articuno's looking alright, to be fair. Not really, because the Tinglu is still there. But, you know, it's whatever. What are the chances of this thing's choice? That's the real question. So, I'm half tempted to go into Iron Valiant, just go for the Thunderbolt. But I'm leaning more towards Heatran. So Heatran can come in. Heatran can definitely take a Tera Blast from this thing, no problem. We are specially defensive, so I'm going to go straight for that Stealth Rock real quick. I'm going to bet that they're choiced. They are choiced, which is great. Hopefully not Specs. I'm thinking Scarf, by the way, they outsped us. That's not Specs damage. That's definitely not Specs damage. So Stealth Rock comes through, which is great. Down goes the Volcanion's health and the Magma Zone's health if they switch out. Now I'm going to save my Heatran for later. I'm going to go straight into Corviknight. Now that we know that the choice locked into Tera Blast, we can freely go into Corviknight and not have to worry about being trapped or anything like that. So let's go Corviknight real quick. We'll exert some pressure. They're going to go for a Tera Blast again. Obviously, it's not going to do much damage to Corviknight over here because it does resist it. And it is probably Choice Scarf, which is good to note. What I'm going to do now is, expecting them to switch out, I'm going to go for a nice and powerful U-turn. Because they more than likely go into... I don't know what they're going to do. The Volcanion, maybe? They do withdraw, though. They're going to withdraw Duracell. Nice nickname, by the way. Duracell. That's a cool nickname. Duracell. Lasts longer. Ting Mu is going to come in, which is the Ting Lu, of course. This is actually really good for us because it means we can go into Quaquaval pretty easily. So I'm going to go for a U-turn real quick, get some chip damage off on the Ting Lu. And now I'm going to go straight into Quaquaval. There's no reason for me not to go into Quaquaval. Their switch into Quaquaval is going to be the Azumarill, which is fair enough. Azumarill does switch in pretty nicely. So I'm going to go into Myra B. There we go. Myra B comes on in. There we go. So what they might do here is they might go into Magma Zone to resist the close combat. I'm half tempted to go for an Aqua Step instead so that we can actually outspeed it. Let's see how that works for us. So I'm going to go for the Aqua Step real quick. Aqua Step comes through. Lovely animation. I love the animation for Aqua Step. It's a really cool animation. It's going to do a lot of damage to the Ting Lu. And we get a very nice and powerful speed boost as well, which is great. We're going to lose some health from the Life Orb as they go for a Whirlwind. So Whirlwind comes through for them, which is absolutely fine by me. We can take on Whirlwind. That's fine. What we're going to get dragged out into, though, that's the real question. Hopefully something good. Heatran comes in. So Heatran comes in. What we could do here is we could probably go for a Magma Storm, trap this thing. But I think they're going to go for a Stealth Rocks. I'm more inclined to go for a Will-O-Wisp here to stop it from doing any damage with Earthquake to anything. Heatran was basically just fodder, and they're likely going to set up Stealth Rocks. Let's go for a Will-O-Wisp and burn this thing. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. So we go for a Will-O-Wisp. We do burn the Tinglu, which is great. Not a lot of hacks this game as well, which is good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So we go for a Will-O-Wisp. We do burn the Tinglu. They go for a Stealth Rocks. Absolutely fine by me. We do have a Defogger in Corviknight. So it's unfortunate that we have the Stealth Rock set up, but it's not the end of the world, you know. It's definitely not the end of the world. So, yeah. Hurt by the burn Tinglu is probably going to go for a Whirlwind this turn. So I'm going to go straight for that Magma Storm just to get some damage off on it. So Magma Storm comes through. We don't miss, which is nice. And there we go. Nice bit of damage on the Tinglu as they're going to be trapped by swirling magma. They go for a Whirlwind, which is fair enough. What are they going to Whirlwind us out into? That's the real question. They're going to Whirlwind us out into what? That is the real question. Hopefully something that can take on this Tinglu, like maybe the Quackable. We ended up into Articuno. So Articuno is fine by me. Absolutely fine by me. They do have a good switch into this. Being that, well, actually, no, they haven't got a good switch in. Nothing really wants to switch in on a Hurricane here. Galarian Articuno is looking pretty nice right now. So I'm going to go for a Hurricane. Hopefully we don't miss. Hurricane comes through. Is it going to take out the Tinglu? That's the real question. It does take out the Tinglu. So Galarian Articuno got a KO. And it was the one Pokemon that really kind of stops it. So that's pretty good for us. I'm enjoying that. That's a nice little one. So Duracell's going to come in now. The Choice Scarf Magnezone. It's going to get hurt by some Stealth Rocks, which is great. We're Heavy Duty Boots, so we didn't get hurt by them. I'm half tempted to switch out into our Heatran so that we get a free switch into something else. But the only problem is now is that everything on our team is weak to Magnezone, including the Heatran. The Iron Valiant isn't, but it's got Booty Special Defense. We are Choice Scarf, so we do outspeed. I think I'm going to sack Heatran just to see what they're going to lock themselves into. So I'm going to get Galarian Articuno out of there. I really should have saved the Tera, but it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. So Heatran comes in. It's going to get hurt by Stealth Rocks, obviously, which is going to take it out. We're going to get to see what this Magnezone is going to trap itself into. So Firefrog is going to go, unfortunately. There we go. And now we've got Azumarill, we've got Magnezone, and we've got Volcanion, all weak to electricity. So my opponent's in a very similar end as us, other than the Rillaboom. So let's go into our Iron Valiant real quick. Iron Valiant Choice Scarf, of course. And what we can do is we can just go straight for a Thunderbolt. No problem. They're going to expect the Thunderbolt. That's for sure. They're going to expect the Thunderbolt. Or they expect something else. But if they go Rillaboom here, we've got Corviknight sat there. And we've also got the Articuno. But they're going to go for a knockoff with a Rillaboom more than likely. So I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt. Just going to go straight up for the attack. There we go. Should take out the Magnezone from there. It does take out the Magnezone from there. And that's one big threat to our team gone. And they have to go into Rillaboom now. So it means they can't set up with Azumarill. They can't bring Volcanion in. They can't really do anything against the Iron Valiant other than the Rillaboom. So that's exactly what they're going to do. Funky Monkey comes in. The Rillaboom. It's nice to see Rillaboom. Nice to see Rillaboom again. It's going to get up the grassy terrain, of course, with the Grassy Surge. Which is going to heal us and them every turn on our grounded Pokemon. They do, of course, have the Grassy Seed, which is going to boost their defense, which is interesting set. Definitely an interesting set. I'm going to go straight to Corviknight, though. Corviknight basically handles this thing, no problem. So there we go. Going to withdraw Iron Valiant. They probably go for a U-turn. I'm actually expecting, like, a knockoff, though. So we'll go into Corviknight real quick. There we go. Corviknight can come on in. As they do go straight for whatever. What are they going to go for? That's the real question. Are they going to go for a knockoff? Drum Beating. So Drum Beating comes through. And that's going to do nothing to Corviknight, of course. Absolutely nothing. It does lower our speed. But if anything, that's a good thing because it guarantees that we're going to get a slow U-turn off right now. So let's go for that U-turn real quick. They go for a Taunt. Maybe expecting a Defog. Not going to happen. And we're going to go straight for that U-turn into our nice and powerful Articuno. Articuno is getting some action this game. Articuno is getting some action. It's not really a set built for it's a set built for sweeping, but it's like it's a physically defensive Articuno with Calm Mind. It's a bit of a weird set. I don't know why I'm running it, to be honest with you, but I'm going to go for a Hurricane right now, and hopefully we don't miss. So they go for an Acrobatics, which is going to sting a little bit. Not too much. We go for the Hurricane, and we miss. So the first bit hacks this game, and we miss the Hurricane. So that's unfortunate, but what can you do about that? Let's go for another Hurricane. They go for a substitute, so that's an interesting set. So a substitute set, hopefully we can hit the Hurricane this time. So we hit the Hurricane, which is nice. It's going to do some solid damage to the Funky Monkey over there. It gets a critical hit on the substitute, which would have been nice if it didn't have a substitute up. But now that we know they've got a substitute, the best thing we can do now is to go for Freezing Glare instead. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Freezing Glare is the best thing we can do here. So I'm going to go for that, because if they go for a substitute banking on us missing a Hurricane, then we may as well just go for their Freezing Glare to break the substitute every time. Because they do outspeed us, obviously. So we go for Freezing Glare, which animation looks sick, by the way. Actually looks really cool. So they're going to go ahead and lose their substitute once again. And this time, they're more than likely going to attack us now. They've got Acrobatics, Drum Beating, Substitute, and then one more move. I don't know what the move is. Let's find out. Let's find out what they're going to do. So are they going to go for an Acrobatics? They go for a Drum Beating to lower our speed. Absolutely fair enough. It's not going to do much damage, but it's definitely going to lower our speed, so we don't outspeed we don't outspeed the Azumarill, but it does activate our competitive, which is nice. So Freezing Glare is going to come through, taking out the Rillaboom. As now we have Volcanion, Azumarill. Two slow water types. Well, Volcanion isn't that slow. Volcanion's actually really cool. So Volcanion comes in. It's not going to get hurt by it. It's got heavy duty boots, which is nice to know. We go for a Freezing Glare here. They go for a Steam Eruption. Are we going to be able to take it like a champ? We take it with 1 HP. Go for a Freezing Glare. Galarian Articuno coming through right now. We get a crit, which didn't matter because we're at +2 special attack. Galarian Articuno coming through right now, living on 1 HP. What a clutch moment for Galarian Articuno. Oh my god. In comes Duracell. It's called the Azumarill Duracell as well. That's pretty cool. I respect that. That's a good choice. So Freezing Glare is going to have to come through for us right now. They go for an Aqua Jet. Of course, that's going to take out Galarian Articuno. But Galarian Articuno got 3 KOs. He got the Ting-Lu, he got the Rillaboom, and he got the Volcanion, which is really cool. So anyway, what do we do here? We go Iron Valiant, right? We go Iron Valiant, and we're just going to go straight for that Thunderbolt. And if it doesn't take it out, Corviknight will finish it off. Corviknight will definitely finish it off. So let's go for that Thunderbolt real quick. There we go. They go for an Aqua Jet to get some last minute damage off. It's not even a 2-hit KO, as we're able to go for a Thunderbolt and hopefully finish off this Azumarill. Not quite, but I'm relieved they went for an Aqua Jet and not a Play Rough there, because now Iron Valiant is going to be able to finish this thing off the next turn. So there we go. Thunderbolt comes through. Hopefully they don't get a critical hit on the Aqua Jet, because that would suck, but it is what it is. If it happens, it happens. Aqua Jet comes through. It doesn't get a critical hit. We go for a Thunderbolt. That's going to be able to take out the Azumarill, and that is going to be the game. So we actually beat Raymond for a change. That's like a first, right? We actually beat Raymond for a change. So GG Raymond. That was a pretty fun game. Some clutch moments with Galarian Articuno. Really, really dig that. Like, it's the point of the team. So I'm glad I'm able to make it a really cool thumbnail for Galarian Articuno. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.